like that's still speaking to our environment in a sense.
You're talking just about the relationship between just like the print and these kind of convention relationships and like online kind of
So
world.
what's really going on in the real
Yeah.
world, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's like online
it's a very
interaction.
complicated question.
It's a
so,
complicated question, but it does kind of open up the idea of just like
like,
sort of like
more
the
than
thing
just
about
comics.
the thing about I feel like about these conventions and about online is it's a very closed circuit, but also theoretically we want to make it expansive and kind of like open it up to more people. But there is also that intimacy in our circle of fellow cartoonists. You know, we're all sleeping on each other's couches this weekend. You know.
Yeah. That's always seems to be a big worry in comics, is that there's no new people coming in and it's just this small group of people reading and making these things. But I think right now there's a really great balance. You know, I mean, I couldn't do what I do without the internet. It's, you know, I sell so many books and I get new readers because of the internet. But I also think there's a lot of new people coming to shows like this. You know, I think, you know, whether they're like art students or people that just are interested in something new. I feel like there's new readers all the time. So I don't, you know, and community's great. I mean, it's you know, I've been self-publishing for a while, and it's really great to have a network and all the support of people doing the same thing you're doing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's worrisome that it would be just really incestuous, but I feel like there's new blood coming in the last few years with new readers, and it doesn't feel so closed off anymore.
Yeah, Anna, this is one of the first times that I believe that you've been to Chicago, maybe you've seen this community. How do you feel about having witnessed it, maybe for the past, even the past day? It's a weird question to ask. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit. You don't have to name names, but I'm just seeing like the feeling of having your first convention in your homeland in Germany versus here in America, and the differences between those communities.
I mean, I really feel like home here, which is so weird because I didn't know anybody personally like before I came here. And I think that it's pretty similar to like European comic fest. I think. I mean, like you know the people's work like on the internet, and then you really want to have that book. Like, you really want to talk to this person. You really want to maybe like shake the hand, like something cheesy like this, you know, like. And I think it's basically the same. There's no big difference. It's like,
Yeah, it definitely seems that there's a expansive community that is happening, and it's really always just good to see what's happening with everybody else. Let me just see if we have one more question. Does anyone have anything to ask Michael, Chuck, or Anna about their work? Sir?
Anna, have you ever been to Angoulême?
yes, yeah, I've been there, yeah. But I didn't go like the past few years. But now it's supposed to be much cooler because we have this independent, like, alternative section of it. Like, I think it's worth going again. Like, I've been there like 5 years ago. Like, it's pretty cool. I liked it. But it's also pretty far away. And, like, it's really like hard to get. Like, I mean, it's a difficult place. Like, you can't go there by plane or something. Like, you really have to take a car and like, whatever. So yeah, I might go there next year.
No, definitely, it's a little bit bigger of a show than Cake, I'd say, right?
Yeah, it's gigantic. I mean, it's also like these real like giant publishing houses, like French ones, who are like shooting out albums after albums, but also like now the alternative section, which is like I think like a really good mix. Like you have like the old-fashioned like comic nerd people or like lovers, and then also like fresh, just like students, like, oh cool, like I gotta make a comic or something like this. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that when you have that opportunity to have fresh new cartoonists meet with just the seasoned professionals that are working today, it definitely like makes everyone have to up their game. You know, like every time I've been seeing Kim Deitch this weekend, I'm like, God, I gotta get better.
Yeah, everyone should go see Kim Deitch. He's sitting at the Fantagraphics table, and he is a legend.
Yeah, just definitely seeing like legendary figures like that, you just have a sense of history, which I feel is something that we've only achieved in the past decade or so. Just kind of realize that there's this expansive history of comics that we kind of weirdly fit into in some odd way, but it also kind of gives you a sense of grounding and tradition. Maybe something that maybe previous generations they were like aware of. They all came out of fandom culture. But definitely, it's more embraced. It's not like a battle. You know, we're not battling against like superhero comics in the same way that Spiegelman was with Raw. But I feel like we've kind of finally achieved this nice middle area.
Yeah, I feel like this, our little generation here is like, we like superhero comics and genre comics. We also like you know, zines and the alternative stuff and the stuff from the 90s. And we also like art, you know. I mean, not so much myself, but like, you know, there's I mean, I can't name artists or anything, but like the Fort Thunder. I feel like it's like we're bringing a lot of new things to comics, and we're more into a lot of different types of comics. And yeah, like I feel like there's less like, you know, fuck mainstream, you know, whatever.
But what do you feel like the challenge is now?
Huh?
Yeah, that's something I open up to all of you. What's the challenge? Like, what's the next wall to break? Where should we go from here? Like we have like comic reviews and like, you know, in the New York Times. You know, that battle's been won. So what's the battle to win now? You know, like I definitely feel like I see like an appreciation of the extreme and the abject. It seems like we're trying to push boundaries and find that new place to go, but where, like Michael, where do you feel like we might want to end up?
Sex.
Sex? Oh, that happens. CF went there already. He's got it.
CF is the only cartoonist to have sex.
He was. I just remember when I saw that third Power Masters. I was like, he came out of the perv closet 100%. He's just letting it hang loose, and he's cool with it.
I never really think of I always just want my own comics to be better, and like I want to read other good comics from other people, but I never think of like the future of comics or publishing really, or graphic novels dying or pamphlets. Like I never think of any of that stuff. And like things I guess seem bleak because like bookstores are closing and everything. So that I just feel like, well, like at least me and most of my friends will still like be putting out our dumb shit some way or another. So I don't think of it too much.
Before we finish up, I would like to ask the question, do you still feel like you challenge yourself? You still feel the challenge?
Yeah.
Well then, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you all very much for attending this program. Hope you have yourself a great cake weekend, and we'll be having the Kim Deitch panel will be starting at 2 o'clock. Have a great cake. Thank you much.
Thanks, guys.